probably already saw, but we went to the beach and to all kinds of flea markets. Do you guys want to see some footage that I filmed at the first flea market that we went to? This is actually the biggest flea market in Europe. So let's go check it out. After that, I will be back with a whole bunch of other things that I want to share in this week's video. I'm so excited! This is homemade lemonade. And they ginger, mint, lime, citrus. And there's also a little bit of rosemary in it, and it gives it a very interesting but lovely taste. Yeah, it looks amazing. And my plate looks very colorful. Do you guys want to know what this is? Can you show it? Look here. It's a toilet roll hider to hide your spare toilet paper. Oh, Rogier is going to buy it. In my opinion, if you go to this flea market, you need to make a decision to shop for clothes or to shop for things for your home, because if you do both, it is just way too much. I do like this very vintage looking basket. I always say basket in a very strange way. Basket. Yeah, it's 10 bucks. Oh, look at this. It has little compartments. Let's just keep it in mind. At this very big flea market, I only found 3 little things. And that's not a whole lot, is it? All of these things are things that I'm going to use in my vintage bedroom makeover. I was looking for a yellow fabric for such a long time and I could not find anything. Apparently finding something in a beautiful color of yellow is extremely difficult. It is quite big because it is a tablecloth. I am going to use it for making pillows. I really like this print that it has, this little bit of embroidery. I think this is so happy and so cheerful. And then over here, this little bag that I found that I want to hang on my coat rack, the blue coat rack that I have on my wall, is also something that has a little bit of yellow in it. It is very subtle. I do think that this has a vintage look because of the bamboo and because of all of the beads over here. And then the last thing that I found was this little vintage suitcase that also has a bit of a yellow tone to it. I don't know if you can see it. So not a whole lot, but a few little things that I actually really like. I'm done with all of the sanding, or at least for now I am. I also removed the excess that I had on both sides of the cabinet. Now I'm going to clean a little bit of the dust away, and then I am going to give the entire cabinet a coat of primer. First of all, because after a coat of primer it is much easier to see where I need to use filler and caulk and all kinds of things. And also wood filler adheres better to primer than to bare wood. So that's why I always start with the primer before I do anything else. I don't have a lot of time this week to work on this cabinet because on Thursday, and this is the day after tomorrow, we are going on a little trip. Rogier and I. We are going back to Friesland. The last time that we went there, the province called Friesland, we went to check out some thrift stores. This time we are going to check out a flea market. We heard about this flea market at the flea market that I just showed you. Somebody told us about it and he said it is the most amazing flea market ever. And it is very, very big. Let's raise this cabinet off the floor and paint faster than I ever did before. Go away! I don't want you anymore. Oh no. There's still something left. There's a bit of old, very hard, dried paint on this roller, so I need another one. Such a disaster. Sometimes I don't even like doing DIY jobs. Sometimes I just want to have a YouTube channel about something else. I don't know about what, but something. Exercise, food. Food is nice, right? Or, I don't know. This is not really working. It's just, oh, yay! Wow. Let's remove a little bit of paint from this thing because that's why all of these rollers get stuck. Let's paint. I also have the final paint color over here because this cabinet, believe it or not, is not going to be blue or white. It is going to be a very vintage looking color. A color that makes me very nervous because I don't know if I'm going to like it. I finished applying the primer. It looks very different, doesn't it? Do you guys want to see some more things that I found at all kinds of flea markets and maybe some footage of the Dutch beach? It's a car boot sale. It's very 70s.
Yeah. It's perfect for my scene.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think this is extremely cool. Ah, my poor feet. They need freedom from my shoes. Ah, I hate shoes. Wild at the same time. I love the sea. This is a seaweed burger. This is my plate. I just came home from a trip to the DIY store. One tiny piece of trim, more than 11 euros. Are they completely out of their mind? Who is going to pay 11 euros, more than 11 euros for a tiny little piece of trim? No, 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 no. I am going upstairs now to check my little wood stash to see if there is something there that I haven't seen before. You guys, I found something. This is another thing that I found in the trash a long time ago. I can't believe it. I bring so many things home from the trash outside that I don't even remember all the things that I have up there. Oh, do you guys think that this is a little bit too rusted? This is so satisfying. Where is my little thingy? Okay, so let's go take a look at this color. Maybe it is a bit hard to see over here in this light, but it is a little bit of a mustard color. It reminded me of the 70s. Never ever have I painted anything in my home with a color like this. I definitely need to paint 2 coats of this color before we can see how it is really going to look, because the coverage of this paint is not amazing. Maybe it is because of the color, because I use this brand often and usually the coverage is a lot better than this. I don't really know what to say about this color. I kind of love it, and then again, I kind of don't. I think for now, I am definitely going to keep it. It is a little bit more green than what I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit more of a yellowy brown color. It's not bad, and to be honest, I do think that it has a bit of a vintage vibe. So yeah, like I said, it is just a bit different. The color yellow is sneaking up on me when it comes to this vintage bedroom makeover. It all started when I found this vintage teapot. Then I found this old alarm clock that also has a yellow color on the back. I bought myself some beautiful fake flowers because of the very big hole in the bottom of the vintage teapot. I do think that it actually looks quite cute, and it is so terribly happy, don't you think? Then we have this little painting over here. This actually came out of one of the mystery boxes of art that we bought on Marketplace. If you would have asked me about a year ago, is this something that you want to hang on your wall? I would have said no. But somehow, in a very unexpected way, I actually really like this. The little bit of blue in it is just perfect because it just ties everything together. And I don't know, I think it is interesting. It is an interesting little painting and it is different. It is different. It is different than anything I ever had in my home before. I think different is good. Then, of course, we have this amazing lamp that I found at the flea market. I think I paid €5 for it. They were asking 10. I had to think about it because this is not a normal lamp. It is actually a heat lamp. You can't put a normal light bulb in here. We need to fix this lamp if I ever want to use it. For now, it is just here for show, just like the cabinet, because it is not finished yet. It looks really nice, but it still needs a lot of work. Anyway, talking about the cabinet, I bought 4 of these very tiny little, I don't know how you call this in English. In Dutch you call it een schuifje. The door on this side is straight. On this door I'm going to use these on the inside. You are not going to see them. With the other door that is warped a lot, I am going to use this on the outside. And I think with using these little things, I can actually close this door up and you are not going to see that the door is not straight. A warped door is something that I can't fix right now. So these little things are my solution. I never ever had anything yellow in my home except for a week or two. When I was 19, in my first tiny little home, I actually painted all of my walls yellow. And I had very big regrets about an hour after I was done painting. But I don't know, it is really starting to grow on me, all of this yellow. It just makes me very happy. Let's take a very quick little look over there in the corner. I figured out the whole art situation, all of the frames and all of the things that need to go in it. It is very hard to find the right size of frame for the things that I want to hang, because all of my frames are thrifted. Then we have my beautiful little lamp. I am still so happy that I found this on Marketplace. Another little tin can. I just can't stop buying these things. Please don't ask me why. This is something that I really love. I think maybe I want to use it as a little planter with a cactus in it or something. I also found frames for all of the fronts that I collected from sheet music books. The other ones I have over here on my bed. I still need to put all of the frames back together, but I'm already very happy that I found a great fit for all of these prints. This is something that you already saw in one of my other videos, but this is also something that is new. I bought this at the thrift store that I have in my street. It is very heavy, a heavy duty industrial looking little cabinet. I paid €5 for it and I don't know, I quite like it. I like having something a little bit bigger over here because this windowsill is very big and I don't have a whole lot to put on my windowsill. I am going to have some plants over there in front of the window, but in the corners it is just way too dark. I definitely want to hang a plant also over there, I think. A plant that needs a little bit less light. This is not how it is going to be decorated. This is just me stashing all kinds of things in the corner for now. This corner is actually going to be completely empty because all of this is going to be hanging on my wall. So I think I need to do a little bit more shopping actually. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I have a lot more flea market footage for you guys for future videos. All of the baby things that I found I haven't shown you yet. I'm going to save all of this footage for the first baby nursery makeover video. So lots more to come and I'm definitely bringing my camera tomorrow. So I really hope to see you very, very soon. Bye!